Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hoon Dok Hae, together with Reverend Yutaka Yamada. Today is Thursday, the 2nd of June, or the 4th of May in the 10th year of Hoon Dok. Let's begin by offering a bow to our Heavenly Parent and True Parent, Chariot, Kyombe, Paro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English. Thank you.
가족 멘세 4. 전일국 주인 우리 가족은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 찬조 이사인 천주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 4. Our family, the owner of Hoon Dok, pledges to build the universal family, encompassing heaven and earth, which is the Heavenly Parent's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness by centering on true love. And please join me as I offer the opening prayer. Our most beloved Heavenly Parent, we're very grateful to be here, to wake up in the morning, to be alive, to be able to have our senses, to be healthy, to really, take in the fact that, we have been given such grace and blessing to be alive during the time of our true parents, this amazing golden age, to be able to know the truth and to be able to receive the blessing and become blessed families that are striving towards realizing Hoon Dok. This is an amazing time to be living in, and it's up to us, to recognize that we have our portion of responsibility that needs to be fulfilled and carried out. It is humanity that caused the fall, and it is humanity that needs to solve the problem, and only with our true parents can we have the ability to finally separate from Satan. So our desire really is to support our mother as we march towards 2027, and to really expand our movement by witnessing, and to also proclaim to the world, at least 1/3 of the population, that you are the Heavenly Parent, the parent of all humankind, and our true parents are the substantial body of heaven, and that through the true parents the blessing can be given, and the grace of having our sin removed, and being finally the cutting and severing our link to Satan, and really we can rejoice in the fact that we are part of your family, that we are your sons and daughters, and we are inheriting the tradition and the faith and love of our true parents. And with that, we ourselves can become the true parents, so that we can continue to expand and grow and develop. So we're so grateful to be here this morning, and we ask your presence and offer you our devotion in our names, John and Shazira and Misa, blessed central family. Archie. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Yutaka as he shares this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining this morning Hoon Dok Hae. How about today? Did you wake up well? Yes, beautiful morning in Australia, and New Zealand is getting colder and colder, I think. Please take care of yourself. And Island Nation is hotter and hotter, I think. Please take care of yourself well. You have to take care and offer our heart to our Heavenly Parents and true parents. I want to share some activity photo in Samoa. So really, Reverend Seti, thank you for your investment to do the Holy Marriage Blessing. Really directly give education and give the blessing. our witnessing. Now we try to witnessing more and more, and the Heavenly Tribal Messiah and Chombo activity. So this our witnessing and the purpose. One of the main purpose is to give the blessing, to change the lineage, and to connect our heavenly parents and true parents. That's why those witnessing activity, blessing activity is really precious and important. So always we have to think, even one-on-one witnessing or couple blessing or even any kind of event, but how we can guide and connect to the blessing. So 3 spiritual children, or 12, or 36, 120, and finally 430. Continuously, we share this message and witnessing and blessing. And then first, we have to again, how we can witness 3 spiritual children, right? Then continuously until really fulfilling 430, even until restoration of the nation. So we will remind again and push again. So this Saturday, we will have a witnessing workshop. Please also join together and really discuss again and again. Important things is to create the spiritual world. Witnessing is not only just the method or just activity or skill. This witnessing is how we can create the environment and the spiritual world. Then God will guide, or spiritual world will guide, and the people will come. So we will create those atmosphere and really create the God ideal family or blessed center family. So anyway, thank you for Reverend Seti and family brothers and sisters in Samoa. Really, it's beautiful photo. So thank you. So today, let's read Yamada's anthology, The Global Unity Through True Parents. So now Yamada is sharing the story and the message about Europe. So Mada is talking about the European countries' history and also background as the Christianity and the role and responsibility. So we could see the British Empire really spread the Christianity to the world. But when we see their action or investment about the internal part, really, did they spread the heart of God or heart of Jesus together with Christianity or not? That's why when we see that those history, of course, Christianity itself was spread, but still that kind of the internal heart and also God's heart to sacrifice for enemy or really live for others. Those things we need to put more, emphasize more, and there is support more or develop more. And now True Parents is on the earth, and we are also the one who receive the blessing and to live together. That's why how we can share the blessing, how we can give the happiness. And Mother said, important things is that how many people want to receive blessing and how we can guide them to the person who want to receive blessing. So this kind of encouragement, guiding and showing is really important. So people will feel your attitude or your behavior, your words through yourself. Even we are talking good things, even we are showing the good activity, but myself still not good personality, good thinking, good deeds, then what's happened? People will feel, people can understand. That's why when we do activity, but in the same time, how I can become the true person, how I can become or we can become the true family, how we can create the really God's personality on behalf of God. Those effort is really important. So Mother is really mentioning those points. So let's see the next part. Okay, please read.
Even in the history of Poland, there must have been many ups and downs, and at such times many people must have prayed. Now you need to change. You should never forget that you are proud people whose task is to substantially fulfill God's will, that is, his ideal of creation. People of past times wished for God to help them, and to do things for them, but you need to lead a different kind of life. You should live a life where you report what you have accomplished to God.
Yes, thank you very much. So each nation has the history, and every moment we have to pray to God. Mother said, now you need to change. You should never forget that you are proud people whose task is to substantially fulfill God's will. That is his ideal of creation. So when we do something, when we pray, we should not pray in order to receive something, but we should pray for giving something or fulfilling something for God and heavenly parents and true parents. And every time we should report today what we will do, tomorrow what we will do, or what happened, our relationship, everything we can report and sharing and talk to God. That's why what kind of attitude should we have toward heavenly parents, toward providence, or toward our life itself? So knowing God's will, knowing God's truth. So as a person who knew God's will, the person who knew our heavenly parents and true parents, always pray, always report, always determine, and always also go forward. So that kind of life is willing by God and heavenly parents. So when we see our life a day, how often are we praying, or how many minutes are we praying? Are you praying every day at least? How much are you praying? Are you praying at least one day more than 10 minutes or below than 10 minutes? 10 minutes long or 10 minutes is short? So how much we are communicating with God? 10 minutes is short, right? Or long? Yeah, we have to, how much we really reflect ourselves. Looks like 10 minutes is, I'm not sure, depends on people. Some people is focused to pray for 1 hour easily, but sometimes it's not easy even to pray for 3 minutes. So how we can pray with God, share to God. This is really the communication and conversation. So when we see our heart or original mind, every time also God is talking to us. How much or how many times can we listen God, or through our original mind or through prayer? That's why we have to reflect all the time, which is more the time I spend living the thinking of God, or the time when I don't think about God. So true parents offer the whole life for God himself or for heavenly parents in order to comfort God or liberate God. So we can learn through our true parents. We can learn also those attitude or model of living on this earth. Please read.
Romania's history is by no means inferior to that of Rome. Be that as it may, what is important is the result. Until now, it has lived as a wild olive tree, but from now on, God will take more interest in any nation or people that becomes perfected as the true olive tree. In a friendly competition, the more intense it is, the better. This is only the beginning. Anything that lives and moves also thrives. Anything that stays still dies out. In comparison to the rest of Europe, this country may seem to be developing more slowly in various aspects.
Thank you. Mother said, until now, it has lived as a wild olive tree, but from now on, God will take more interest in any nation or people that becomes perfected as a true olive tree. So before true parents come, or after true parents came on this earth, what is changing or what is different? When we see that 2000 history from Jesus Christ, or even 6,000 years, the human history, what was the God's hope, God's wish, or direction of the history? That during the 6,000 providential history, God's hope is only one. How God can send his begotten son and begotten daughter on this earth. That meaning is how God tried to create the true olive tree on this earth. During 6,000 years time, there is no God olive tree. Of course, Jesus Christ was there, but as the couple of the olive tree is not there. That's why during 6,000 years, God, our ancestor or central figures, many shed and many tears, many blood, and many sweat are there in order to welcome the second coming of Messiah, our true parents. That's why even Jesus went to the spiritual world. That is the really God's purpose, how to bring the olive tree, true olive tree on this earth. But after true parents, how about now situation? How many olive tree, how many true olive tree do we have? Now, because of true parents, many people are receiving blessing and many people can become the true olive tree. So ourselves also, how about ourselves? Do we already the true olive tree or still the wild olive tree? We have to become the true olive tree, right? So before true parents, the history is to find one true olive tree, but after true parents, we have to multiply as much as possible. We have to multiply the many true olive tree. So how we can bring that? That's why according to the era, according to the history, really our main target or God's interest is changing. That's why Mother said, now God is interested. How many people, how many nations can bring the true olive tree? So continuously, we will go and share this true olive tree. Please read.
However, if it were to take the lead in the work of the providence, it would rise to a position higher than that of the more advanced nations of today, based on the standards set by God. All problems in the world can be resolved when we all attend God and true parents. We need to let everyone know about that. It is your mission to open the eyes of people who at this moment can only see their living environment so that they can see the wide world and the universe.
Yes, why there are many problems happen on this earth? Because people does not recognize our heavenly parents and does not recognize the wish of true parents. That's why how we can let people know about really our existence of our heavenly parents, existence and the wishes of our true parents, and to love them, let them have experience and really go together. That's why Mother said, it is your mission to open the eyes of people who at this moment can only see their living environment so that they can see the wide world and the universe. So we have to let them wake up. Please wake up. Now already heavenly parents is here. True parents is here. Truth or really the happiness and ideal moment is here. You are here and you can join and you can receive the great happiness and great blessing. We have to let them open their eyes to connect with our heavenly parents. Please read.
True parents' teachings are the remedy by which Slovakia can be established as a healthy nation. There is no better remedy than what they have taught. I know that many social problems, including domestic and juvenile problems, are on the rise, even in this country. Though the rally of July the 4th, 2006 was a success, it does not end there. That is only the beginning. If you can arm yourselves with the word and practice it in your lives, Slovakia will grow more prosperous and powerful.
Yes, thank you very much. So during that time, True Mother, this speech was given in 2006. So during the True Mother's speaking tour, I think Slovakia is in Europe. So those nations in Europe, Mother also mentioning that and educate directly. So True Parents is educating directly the head of states and talking about the family value and the problem of youth and problem of society. And people have to understand and God's will. People have to understand the truth and God's word and the practice. So how much those investment at that moment, how much do we recognize the preciousness of our true parents' visitation and organizing the speaking tour? That time we just thought this is just one-time event or just one activity, or we that time we thought this was the great opportunity to educate our head of states or head of nation. So really each moment, how we will receive that progress, this is important. Especially our Oceania brothers and sisters, you are also realize or remember that moment when true parents came to each nation. Do you remember that moment? You work together and prepare well to invite brothers and sisters, organizing the place, hotel, venue, and went to the airport and welcome to the parents, right? And join the Hoon Dok Hae together and really let them meet our head of states or VVIP. We can remember that moment. But actually, those moments, how about it that time our heart may be so busy to welcome, busy to just prepare the environment. But actually, those moment itself was really precious. Do you remember yesterday? Many people also sharing about issue of Pacific Island nation. Now we could see many issue about island nation, and someone said if we can organize the speaking tour to the all nation again, right? Actually, already 15 or 20 years ago, true parents knew that situation and to visit directly, nation by nation, and talk to head of states. You have to change. You have to realize. You have to stand. If you don't receive God, you don't receive true parents, you don't recognize this problem in the society, your nation will face suffering or perish. Already 15 years ago, 20 years ago, father and mother visited nation by nation, called the head of states, called the head of VIP or religious leader, and to educate that moment. But how much are we serious that moment? This main point. So now we could see main issue in each nation, in each society. That's why once again, we have to remind and even we have to commit and we have to organize those true parent spirit to educate the head of the nation and also the people in each nation and the region. So really true parents show the old model, how we will do. So we have to think how to organize and educate the nation, right? So really there are many things. If we do this speaking tour, who have confidence to really educate them and to meet head of states and really guide them. We have to unite and determine that. And we have to educate. Have to educate the Prime Minister, right? In Australia, Prime Minister, who will meet and talk to Prime Minister. You have to recognize. Now is really serious time. Have to stand, welcome heavenly parents and true parents. This is the future way for the nation and the world. We have to learn and we have to really do initiative, these things in each nations. Okay, please read.
You have no idea what a great joy it is to all humanity that national level marriage blessing ceremonies were held together with the Universal Peace Federation speaking tour to return to the original fatherland and hometown. In the Eastern European region in particular, there are countries that cannot accept the grace of the marriage blessing due to Russian orthodoxy. That is the same as going against God from both the viewpoint of God and the viewpoint of the original nature of humankind. We, however, still need to save them by blessing them. The fact that you can attend an event like this in the Chonaguk era under the leadership of true parents is almost miraculous.
Yes, thank you. So this was given in 2006 and true parents organized even the blessing ceremony together in the national level. So this nation or our nation is really going to the right way or wrong way. So 2006 already Mother is mentioning about which Russian Orthodox. Now it's Russian Orthodox is standing the main issuing place in Russia and Ukraine, right? Mother is already mentioning the Russian Orthodox. So how each nation or each region can go to the right way of God's will. So Mother is reminding that. Please read.
And the fact that Slovakia took part in this historical event is nothing short of a miracle. When you consider the countries that were unable to participate in this event, you are truly happy people. You need to research ways by which you can return that grace to God. Happiness you enjoy all by yourself is not true happiness. The more happiness you share with others, the greater is the happiness that is returned to you. You need to know how happy you are to be in a position where you can give to others instead of receiving from them, and you should try to do so.
Yes, Mother said, happiness you enjoy all by yourself is not true happiness. The more happiness you share with others, the greater is the happiness that is returned to you. You need to know how happy you are to be in a position where you can give to others instead of receiving from them, and you should try to do so. So what is real happiness? What kind of taste of happiness do we experience? When we give something, when people will feel happy, when we see the person who will be happy, that is the real happiness. And among the giving others, among the activity giving something to others, what is the most precious things? Giving the new life, giving the spiritual life. This is really the beautiful moment when you witness and when you meet the guest. And in the beginning, guest is considering or worrying or confusing, but through giving the message, giving the truth, giving the blessing, and our guest is changing, our spiritual children's attitude is changing, and solve their problem and totally shed tears and really show the happy face to us at that moment. Do you imagine how happy or how inspired or how exciting at that moment? That's why giving life, giving truth to the people. Actually, this is also one of the beautiful or happy moment. So now to the parents, the one even directly witnessing the head of states, even through organizing the blessing event in the national level. So this message is given in 2006, but how important even current situation, how we can guide the people and share the people and ourselves, how we can become the true person, then we can become behalf of heavenly parents, behalf of our true parents. Okay, so let's read our word of Cheonsongyeon also. Now in Cheonsongyeon, Father is sharing about the story about God. Why God created human beings. Why God created Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve is of course God's children, but not only that, God wanted to use Adam and Eve's body as his body to love and rule the nation and govern the nation. When Adam and Eve and God united together, then heaven's lineage will be connected and to expanding. So Yamada is emphasizing that how we can recognize our heavenly parents and the will of God. So let's see this one. Please read.
Human beings were created as the temples of God. Even though God is God, he has no way of relating to the world other than through Adam and Eve. God's relationship with Adam and Eve serves as a base for him to relate to their sons and daughters. This relationship forms naturally. God's purpose in creating human beings was to assume a form and also to place them in a position where they could stand together with him as the parents.
Okay, one more thing.
Therefore, Adam and Eve were to be the external God. God made Adam and Eve male and female to represent his dual characteristics of masculinity and femininity. Thereby, they would become his temples, and he would enter and dwell within them. Adam and Eve can act in an ideal way only when God comes, dwells within them, and guides their actions. If God does not act within them, then they know nothing of his will. And without them, God has no foundation on which to form a relationship with human beings.
Yes, thank you very much. through divine principle, we learn what is the structure of God. God is the dual characteristics of the original masculinity and original femininity also. That's why how God wanted to appear on this earth. That meaning is not only just Adam himself, not only by Eve himself, Eve herself. When we, Adam and Eve, totally united, then this itself is actually the God's nature itself. This is the ideal of creation. That's why man and women, even man himself or women himself or herself, this is not God's original ideal, how we can totally unite together. That's why if you receive blessing, then already you have a foundation to show us the God's nature. If you didn't receive blessing yet, this is really serious things, how you can find your eternal spouse. Otherwise, God want to come out and God want to appear through you, but you still only by alone. You don't meet with your spouse. That meaning still God cannot appear full nature of God. That's why if you don't receive blessing yet, you have to prepare yourself. And if you receive the blessing already, we have to effort how we can be the really original God's nature within our husband and wife. So this is really God's nature and God's also purpose. Why there is men and women on this earth separately. Okay, please read.
Since God is incorporeal, he can go anywhere through anything. There is no place he does not go. He penetrates everything. Where does God live? God's home is in the core of our hearts. God's masculine nature dwells in a man's heart, and God's feminine nature dwells in a woman's heart. Thus, Adam and Eve, the original human ancestors, were to be the visible God. That is why whatever Adam called each creature became its name. Whatever Adam wanted to do, all things cooperated with him.
Thank you. So this is the last slide. Father said, where does God live? God's home is in the core of our hearts. God's masculine nature dwells in a man's heart, and God's feminine nature dwells in a woman's heart. So God is not living far place from us. God wants to live inside of ourselves, inside of our couple. That's why we can also imagine, I also often imagine, if humanity didn't fall, then what kind of world really was happened from the beginning of the human history. There was so much beautiful God's ideal and God's wish through Adam and Eve, men and women and family, brothers and sisters and children, grandchildren, also the relative or tribe or nation. Really God had those kind of the beautiful, ideal or happy world already he planned and prepared for us. That's why it was lost, meaning is really sad things or painful things. So now to the parents, try to bring this back and try to fulfill this ideal. So how about, do you want to see this really ideal world which God created or originally planned in the beginning of the history? I really want to see that moment with true parents. How beautiful, everyone together with God, together with sharing happiness, enjoying together with all people in the world. This moment, now we are trying to create together with our true parents and together with our true mother. So when we see today our true father's word and true mother's word, but essence or core point is same. How much understand our God's ideal and how much we can prepare and fulfill God's ideal and God's beautiful this purpose. That's why each moment we will learn God's word, we will learn the nature of God, purpose of God, and we will try and fulfill, share these things and share the blessing to our brother and sisters. So each single moment we don't know where God will appear. when we eat the food, when we meet the people, God always together with us. We don't know when God is coming to us. That's why always communicate with God, pray with God, and really realize our God's heart. Today is the beautiful day, beautiful morning. Today also there are so many great things is waiting, but prepared by God. Let's connect with God's heart and create a great time. Thank you very much for joining this morning Hoon Dok Hae. Have a good day. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. Thank you, Reverend Yutaka. Let's all have a great day, and let's all feel the heart and love of God. Today we are having our breakout session, so I'll create the rooms and open them. Please join. Welcome back. I hope you had a great talk. It's now time for us to offer our unison prayer. I'll just share the screen. Let's pray together. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Thank you, everyone. Have a great and wonderful day, and see you all tomorrow.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Have a blessed day.
You too.
You too, Na.